All right, y'all. It's your girl, J Misha, better known as the Beauty Mogul Goddess. And welcome back to the next episode of Lips and Lace Podcast. When beauty and bars collide, you get a force like Sejoya. Today's guest is no stranger to the spotlight. She spent over a decade lighting up the fashion world, modeling for powerhouse brands like True Religion, Old Navy, and even gracing the set of Wild 'N Out. But now she's bringing that same energy and elevation to the mic. With her debut single, and a growing catalog of confident, unapologetic tracks, Sejoya is proof that you don't have to stay in one lane, especially when you're born to pave your own. She's a model, a rapper, a brand owner, and a whole movement. Sis is the moment. Welcome to the show, the one and only Sejoya.
Kind of clap to that. That was an intro. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I love that.
You're so very welcome. Well, thank you for being here with us today. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to dive right on in.
Let's go.
You had a solid 10-year run in the modeling world, modeling for some major brands.
Yeah.
What was that moment like when you realized that it was time for you to pivot from the modeling into the music?
You know, it's so interesting because what people don't know about me is I've always wanted to do music first. It was just easier getting into modeling.
Okay.
So I've always written like poems when I was younger. I would put them on my voicemail and people would just call my phone or text me, "Don't answer, I'm playing your voicemail for somebody," and all that. So, and I would always just put some crazy stuff, heartbreak, love, just whatever. And they would call and listen. And so songwriting has always been my thing.
Okay.
Poems, songs, raps, whatever. I was always a writer.
Okay.
But when I was younger, it was just like, where do I start? What do I do? I had no clue. And I was kind of just trying to figure it out on my own. And the modeling was just easier.
Okay.
And the only reason why I say easier, it was easy to find an agency to get into,
to pick you up.
Help me. Exactly.
Right.
So that's why. So that was just the lane that I ended up getting in, just to kind of get my foot in the industry.
Okay.
But other than that, I think.
So there wasn't an aha moment. It was like let me get my foot in the door and then show what else I can do.
Literally.
Okay.
And I love modeling. I loved it. I got burnt out, I'm not gonna lie, on fashion shows. I did so many fashion shows.
Right.
Just to build the resume and do a lot of trade for print work and stuff like that. But the fashion shows killed me.
Okay.
It was a lot of free work, and it took a lot of time, a lot of rehearsals, and it was like, we ain't pay for this.
Right. Right, but you needed that to build yourself up and your name up.
No, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool to know. And like you said, it was never that moment because you always had that talent and the skill. But to put your foot in the door with the modeling, like you said, if that was able to help you transition smoothly, I mean, hey,
literally,
I feel that. So you had your debut single, that dropped in 2023. What were you really trying to say with that record, and how do you want people to feel when they hear that?
Which, I felt like I didn't want people to think that it was something that I was hopping on because everybody else was doing it.
Okay.
And it seemed easy to get into and all this and all that. It was like, no, I've been, doing this. Right. I've been writing. I have wrote songs for people before and stuff like that. And so I just was like, let me let y'all know what else I do.
Gotcha.
What else I'm good at, what else I'm great at, or whatever. And so the message was just simply modeling music.
Okay.
And this is what it is. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Simply.
And those definitely go hand in hand. But like you said, they didn't know about that history, right? Of you growing up and being that poet and all of that. So like, everybody else coming on here now, turn into being a beauty girl and then transition that to being a rapper. But you want them to know I got it both.
I do it all.
I've been writing and I'm just now showing you all. So that's exciting.
Exactly.
Well, with being both a model and a rapper, How do you balance the beauty and the bars and not get boxed into either lane? So you were able to transition. So how did you not get boxed in?
I think social media, by kind of being an influencer, being an influencer, having a clothing brand, and being consistent with it all. Every day I try to post just something different, something from modeling, something from music, something from it all, so that they can always see that it's not just music, it's not just modeling, it's everything.
So you are the niche.
Literally. Literally.
You are the niche.
Literally. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So just being consistent. Being consistent and just showing them literally, if it's not Curvy Hustler, it's modeling. If it's not modeling, it's music. If it's not music, it's back to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
This is what you do.
For sure.
Okay, and that makes sense. And with consistency is going to breed anything, right? We was talking about that even before the interview, right? Yes. Being consistent, making sure you get up on your Zoom each and every day, staying on your job.
Regardless of what it feel like.
Because it gets tiring, right? And we can all get burnt out because you over here, you got to always be in your phone. You got to always be conveying something. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to push you, ain't nobody gonna push you harder, right? So stay consistent. You hear that? Stay consistent, y'all.
Be consistent. Okay.
Right. So you've been in front of the camera for years. You've been doing your modeling, your music videos. Now you're doing interviews and things like that, right? So what is the difference between posing and performing to you?
Oh my God. Major difference. Major difference. I doing it for so long with the modeling, I naturally know how to pose. I could get on the runway and just, it's more so, it's the look with modeling. It's definitely the look, meaning getting out, making sure that, when you get to the end of that runway, they can capture whatever. When you're doing a photo shoot, making sure that those still moments are captured.
Gotcha.
On that stage,
it's live.
Oh my goodness.
We in motion.
Now you're in motion and you're captivating a crowd.
Gotcha.
And so I can't get on there and be cute.
Okay.
I gotta get out there and really give it and bring it. No shade to anybody at all. Because everybody perform how they perform.
Right.
But for me, I'm high energy.
Okay.
I'm like, you gotta, I've seen people be, kind of in that cutesy. That ain't me.
All right.
I'm like, I want my dancers going crazy. I want to go crazy. I want to make sure that I'm really engaging with the crowd and
working that crowd.
Giving them what they came to see.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And because a lot of the times when you're new coming in, they didn't really come to see you, for certain performances and stuff like that. And so I really got to give it, my all, because it's like, okay, I want people to be like, who is that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when I'm performing, Shazamming the song, if they don't know who I am, they're really trying, so it's totally different.
Got you.
Totally different.
And even with that, I saw that recently you had a performance out here with Diamond the Body, from the Baddies. So what was that performance like? Because I seen the clips, it looked like you had it lit.
Oh, it was a vibe. It was a vibe. Shout out to Diamond.
For sure.
Well, first shout out to Bay Stars. He put me on the show and it was great.
Okay.
She did a meet and greet. She was great, her energy through the roof.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a
Mama love her some DCB.
Yes, she do. I love that. But she crazy.
Right.
But she is who she is and I respect it. I love real.
Right.
And it's hard getting that in this industry. So when you meet people that are like genuinely just down to earth, I love that. I'm always attracted to that. And so her vibe was dope.
Nice.
But the show,
yes.
The crowd was a little younger.
Okay.
But that was great. That's what I love. I'm not gonna hold you because that energy is just there.
They definitely with it.
Yeah, they ready to turn up. And so for me, I have for that show, as a matter of fact, I had 4 dancers. So I have 2 what I like to call classic. I had to ask them because I was like, "What style of dancing?"
Okay.
I wasn't really used to it.
Right, we just turning up with it for sure, vibing,
the twerking, the booty popping, all that real hard,
right? Get wet, I'm not
all of that. And so when I was looking for dancers for my show, we kept getting like, I call it classical, classically
trained professionals, real professional style dancing.
I forgot. Oh, I think she said it's called heel dancing or something. I'm like, I'm a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
I need y'all to really bring it.
Bounce that.
Yeah.
Bounce it, shake it, twerk it.
It was interesting.
Right.
But so I was able to take 2 of my classical, I would call it, or heels. What did she call it? And forgive me if I'm messing it up, dancers. I really don't know. But it's like it gives off like ballet mixed with hip hop. Okay. It's very different.
Save the Last Dance energy.
You know? There you go.
Save the Last Dance energy. When you said that.
Yes. It gives that a little bit. And I don't come up with the routine.
Right.
And so I be like, okay, that could work or that can't work. Or no, like, yeah, like we can't do that. But with this performance, I had literally 2 twerkers. Okay. And then my classical dancers in the back. So it was a vibe. It was a vibe. Like the entire show, they loved it. I love to get the feedback from, you know, the crowd to see like what they thought was, you know, good, bad, not needed again. But they loved everything about it. So thank y'all.
Yeah, shout out to your dancers for sure. And like you said, you had the balance of the 2. So you got some giving 8 counts and you got some giving pop. You know what I mean? Turning it up. But like you said, with the younger audience, I think that was a good thing too, because now you're exposing yourself to a demographic that you may not have been initially trying to target. But we know with the social media, with the TikTok, it's these young ones who's pushing this content.
That's what I be saying. So I am looking forward to doing a lot more of the 18 and up shows because that's where it's at. Yeah, they where it's at. No shade to the OG, you know, but the younger ones, yes, like you said, they're the ones streaming. They're the ones that's really kind of doing it all. So
for sure, they're making stuff viral. Because all I see is once you get you that one song, that viral, catchy song that takes fire on TikTok, TikTokers gonna run it up for you, right? You ain't gonna have to do nothing. They gonna put it out there for you. So being exposed to that demographic is huge.
Yes.
All right.
Very.
Yeah. All right. So today I'm going to be introducing a very new segment. I usually do my rapid quick fire segment, but today I want to switch it up. Okay. So we're going to play a little game called Lace It or Leave It.
Lace it or Leave It.
I'm going to give you something, right? Okay. And if you feeling it, you lacing it. Okay. If you ain't feeling it, we leaving it. Okay.
Let's go.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Ghostwriters in the rap game. Is we lacing it or leaving it?
No shade to anyone. I would leave it.
Leave it.
Well, it's kind of a gray area, only because I don't think it's nothing wrong with you know, having like multiple people write with you, or you know, give you a word that you use and you can run with, or whatever the case. But if a person is full out writing a song for you, I would say leave that. Right. That's just my
as a rapper.
As a rapper, I would say leave that.
No, for sure. I say leave it until you make it. Yeah. When you get the scene, come on, let us know that you really got that pen game. And then when you get into a certain status, at that point, if you got you some writers, then like you said, they queuing in on the studio, cool. Yeah. But when you hit the scene, I want to know that's you.
That's you, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Okay. Rapping about a luxury lifestyle before you actually live it. Lace it or leave it.
I would say leave it. For me, I just kind of like to be like real and genuine with my writing. However, everybody kind of, you know, want to know that you kind of already made it, even if you haven't, it kind of seems. So it's.
But see, that's where I feel like the game changed. Yeah. Because back in the day, you saw a rapper elevate. I saw you on CD #1 and you wasn't with the highest of high end, and then you got that money behind you.
That's a fact.
And then you transition. So I kind of miss that. I don't want to see you out here with the Bugatti and the Lambo just and you just got out your mama house. And no shade, because if you got it, you got it. But until you get there, you could keep it raw and real. Yeah. Still be elevated, still talk about it, but you know what I mean? You ain't got to portray something you really not. That's how I feel.
That's real.
But I'm not a rapper, so I don't know. But as a music consumer, that's just how I feel.
That's real. That's real, though.
So, wearing your own brand, head to toe, lace it or leave it.
Of course.
Lace it.
We're going to lace. All the way
lacing it from head to toe.
All the way lace that.
Working a 9 to 5 while building your dream. Lace it or leave it.
You got to lace that. The fact that people even just act as if that's like a bad thing is crazy
very much
to me, because why?
Right.
You know what I mean? Why is making any kind of money you know what I'm saying? Like, why is that a bad thing? Regardless of whatever, like, Of course we lacing that.
If you grinding, you grinding. If it's 9 to 5 business owner,
I don't care what nobody is doing. I hate when you see people. I think it was that rapper Roscoe Dash or something, when somebody had spotted him doing Uber and they tried to talk bad about him, and it was like, but why? Right. He ain't outside robbing, killing. He making an honest living, right? Doing what? Let that man live. I all the way lace that work.
But that's what the social media area, era, they want to blast people, because even with the guy from the Good Time show, they clowned him for working at Trader Joe's. Now I didn't see him in multiple movies, so they didn't put him back in Hollywood. I'm gonna have to show you the picture offline, but the old guy, they was clowning him for a while. You know what I'm talking about, because they seen him at Trader Joe's and they posted him online, and now I just seen him in a movie I just watched the other day. You didn't put him back in business trying to shame him.
People don't understand how entertainment works, though.
Right.
If you have to really kind of be in, I think, to grasp the full understanding. Even when you look at the rant Taraji was going on, remember how saying she wasn't getting paid? People don't really understand, right? So work, do whatever you got to do
so you make it.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Dating someone in the same industry, lace it or leave it.
Well, I would leave it. Leave it personally. In my opinion, I just, I prefer regular. Okay. I definitely do. I'm not into the whole flashy flexing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm big on respect. I want a man to love me for me, and not have to worry about, because you have the status and the money. One, you respecting me, because a lot of times
the money don't come with the respect.
No, it does not.
Right.
So definitely.
Okay, we're gonna leave that one. Releasing new music every month. Lace it or leave it.
Definitely lace it. Okay. The only problem, definitely lace it. I feel like, and I've had this conversation multiple times, drop. We need a catalog. My biggest thing, and when I have these conversations, is, okay, if I'm dropping, how and what are we doing to push and promote? Because to just have it and no one's hearing it, it's pointless to me. I ain't really got a real answer yet. It's just a lot of, but it's like, no. If I already have, just say, 2 to 3 good songs, or what I feel are good songs, and I'm pushing and promoting and doing what I'm doing, I'm not in a rush to really just drop stuff just to say I dropped it. Right. I get what people are saying. The catalog matters. That goes without saying. But if no one is hearing the catalog, then why does it matter?
And with a catalog, it's supposed to be built over time. You know what I mean? You don't become Mariah Carey with 15, however many albums she's on now. It takes time.
Right. And I think, like, when you look at Glorilla, for example, I feel like it makes sense for a person with a big backing to be dropping consistently like that. You hot, the last song you dropped was hot. The one before that. So yeah, you keep the momentum going. When you're a new artist, I mean, granted, they want to see that you're, serious, consistent, and things of that nature. But at the same time, it's so much money. Like, you have to put your money where it matters. A lot of marketing and things of that nature, that costs. Right. That's why that 9 to 5 matters. You know what I'm saying? Unless you just got it like that.
Clock that.
But that's why the 9 to 5 matters. But having just song after song after song, and we just sitting and no one's not even tripping, and
they're making a wave, right? Because really, like you said, as a new artist, you really got to really push that, right? Because if you got, like you said, 1 or 2 good songs and the whole city know your song.
Come on now.
I would rather the whole city know my song than I didn't drop 15 songs and they don't know near one. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
So that's real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Feature versus a full solo project. We lacing them, we leaving them. What we doing?
I would definitely lace it. I would lace it.
Okay.
Oh wait. Well,
do you like doing features?
I don't mind it at all.
Okay.
It's so funny. The conversation. Oh my goodness, the conversation. Because people be like, I don't mind doing it. I've done it. I love working with people. Gotcha. You know what I mean? The problem is when I'm real big on my business. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very consistent. I get so many people reaching out to work together. And I'm a researcher. So I'm looking like, well, what we gonna do? You ain't posted since 2022.
Right.
But you want me to come and, to me, I don't mind doing features, but I wouldn't do it with any and everybody. Just
Okay, you selective.
Very selective.
Okay.
And, you know,
as you
sometimes
should
people
be.
can feel away, but it is what it is. I just feel like if you're not really big on your business, I don't really care to do a feature with you because I'm not doing all the work.
Right.
Sometimes I do feel like people look at how I work and how consistent I am with things and stuff like that. And it's like, let's work. But then I'm looking at how you work and I'm like, but you're not consistent like that.
Right.
So I don't feel like we align.
Got you.
You know?
No, and that makes sense because if you constantly pushing yourself and promoting yourself, and somebody like you said haven't made a post since 2022, well, how are you gonna help our feature and our collaboration make noise if you're not even serious about it? Right. So she said she's available for features, but you got to be serious and own your grind. Don't come to her and you ain't posted since 2022. Come on now. Make sure you own your grind, okay?
I don't care about your followers. I don't care about none of that. If you working and you know you doing your thing, we could work.
Right.
But if not,
got you.
Leave me alone.
Nice. Public beefs for promo. Lace it or leave it. We talked about this.
Funny. I would say leave it because then it takes away from your craft. Unless you just want to get known or gain the notoriety from drama, I would. That to me is pointless. Gotcha. However, people do what they do to get to where they're gonna go. So, but for me, I would definitely say leave that.
No, I say leave it too. Like you said, because if you can't come on the scene and be yourself,
come on now,
and people gravitate towards you because of you and your energy. Once you put that drama energy out there, now you're gonna have to keep living that. So you're gonna have to keep having drama and beef to keep pushing your narrative, and you don't want that. Work on yourself, work on your craft, your grind, and then push that. You know, we ain't gotta do the beef.
And I don't really feel like that whole. I mean, but nowadays it do kind of that bad all publicity.
It's just good publicity, right?
I mean, now it's kind of like bad publicity can help you go so far.
That's true. That's the era that we in. You know, because I know when I was growing up, you didn't really see celebrities like that. Like, celebrities were not accessible. Exactly. And it seems like nowadays they're right there at the fingertips. You make one comment and somebody feeling the way. Now they respond, and it's like, to have to the allure, you know?
It just takes away from their celebrity.
Right.
It does. Like, seeing them going back and forth. Like you said, I feel like the less that people know about you,
right, the better.
Yeah.
Keep the mystery, and over time, reveal it. Like I said, we didn't know everything about those artists growing up. We had to get the Word Up magazine and really go in there and read, and then get their bio to figure. Like, you didn't just hop online and like, oh yeah, I seen you was just here, this and this and that. Right. You didn't get that. When you caught them, it was like a unicorn. Like, oh my God, they caught who outside? Right. Such and such was on Hollywood Boulevard or on Rodeo Drive today. Like, it was the allure. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Let's bring back that. Let's bring back real celebrities.
I agree. I love that.
Let's bring it back.
I love that because even when you look at Cardi and Offset and all that, I don't want to go through nothing like that publicly.
No, for sure. And I love me some Cardi. Okay, I love me some Cardi, but I do feel sometimes the drama,
it's too much.
It takes away from it because all of this drama, and you could have just been in the studio and released the album. So it's like, focus on that, and the drama, put that to the side.
Yeah.
So I feel it. Okay, well, that was Lace It or Leave It. I enjoyed that one. That was nice. That was real cool. Okay. So, Sejoya, what is one of the biggest misconceptions people had about you when you transitioned from the modeling to the music, and how did you shut them down?
Oh, I have so many. Well, the main thing that I got when I dropped was a lot of people was like, did I really write that? And I was like,
questioning your pen game.
I'm like, well, thank you for telling me I sound that good.
Right.
You know what I mean? But definitely me being my own writer. So that's why that's your question on Lace.
Okay. So that's what it was. So they didn't think that was really you behind the pen, but that's because you kept some of that celebrityism and to yourself, and nobody knew you've been out here writing since a young toddler, right? So good. So in the music industry, and especially as a woman, right, there's pressure to fit a certain mode. So how do you protect your creativity but stay true to yourself and your voice?
I just do me.
Okay.
And let me say this: I keep God first in everything that I do. So I'm big on praying, discernment, like any and everything that I touch before going into it, I talk to God about it,
right?
About everything,
real.
And so for me, that's my end all be all. Going to God, seeing does it work, making sure that I remain humble, making sure that that discernment is there. I'm working and connecting with the right people, not the wrong ones for, the wrong reasons even. And so I definitely,
keeping God first.
Keeping God first.
For sure. That's going to always do it, like you said, because you got to have a discernment, right? Yes. You can't just align yourself with anybody. People and who they are and their reputation. And as much as we want to say birds of a feather don't flock together, which I do believe is true, but it's still not what the masses are going to perceive. And perception is half the battle, right? So how people see you and how they view you is half that. And you can combat that all you want, but why even set yourself up to have to battle that if you don't even align yourself with any and everything? So I think definitely keeping God first is major. That's huge. So you share with me that you're also a businesswoman. Yes. So tell us about your clothing brand and how your fashion background influences your designs. Give us the name of it too as well.
So it's interesting. Okay, when I started my baby, Curvy Hustler, I resided in Atlanta at the time. I was doing all these model calls and stuff like that. And so my model bag, I had just this t-shirt, but it was like my model t-shirt. And I'm like, this shirt is just so boring. Mm-hmm. And I ended up, I'm like, we need something like cute, but that we can just throw on the go. Gotcha. But but it represents our curves. And every woman has a curve. I don't care if every
right. If you up and down, you still got a curve.
Yeah. So your curvy hustler, if you out, you ripping and running, and you 9 to 5 or what model call, like I was doing whatever the case. To me, all women have curves, and all women hustle for the most part.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So that's how Curvy Hustler kind of came about. And I wanted to make something or have something that was just kind of like everyday wear.
Okay.
The hoodies and the sweatshirts and stuff like that, because there was a lot of, bigger women that like to just throw on a sweatshirt and just kind of go.
Here it is. Something cute too, right?
Something cute. And then I eventually transitioned over to the lingerie. So I was doing the sleepwear a little bit. And then I went to lingerie and, basically lingerie and sleepwear. Mm-hmm. And was but that's the beauty of having your own brand.
For sure.
Going back and forth on, because I started to have like a lot of pieces and different sets and stuff like that. And it became too much because again, it's me doing everything by myself. So I was like, I would do dresses here and different like tie-dye shirts there and stuff like that. And then I was just like, it's kind of too much. Let's scale it back to just the t-shirts and the sweats, the sweatsuits and stuff like that. But then I was like, let's go to something else. And that's how I got fully into the lingerie with the sleepwear. Now I'm sitting here like, we're gonna go back
between the two.
We're gonna go back. What we gonna do?
And we're size inclusive with the Curvy Hustler. Size inclusive.
Oh yes. We have we size for everybody.
Nice.
Literally 5X. 6X.
Oh, okay. So, 6X. Yes, you hear that? So we including everybody from the small to the top, right? Yes. We all can get included. So that's really good to know. But people don't get that when you have a business. When you are trying to sell something, regardless of its clothing, wigs, whatever, right? Having that inventory and having too much sometimes can become a little exhausting because you need to really pigeonhole sometimes and say, what is my lane, right? So if you were saying the cutesy t-shirts and the hoodies and the sweats was what you was really thinking of when you had it in mind, then just continue to pump that out and push that out because trying, like you said, keep a dress here, that's too much. You know what I mean?
And I hate sitting on inventory.
Yeah, and you don't want to sit on inventory, so that was a good thing. But well, I'm glad to know you size inclusive. I love that as a big girl myself, as a curvy hustler.
That part.
For sure, that's what I am, okay?
For sure.
So, how do you mentally prepare before you step into the booth or you hit the stage or the runway? I know you said that you pray and all of that, but do you have any other affirmations or anything that keep you grounded?
So I have daughters, and my little one, to both my daughters, I'm their Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I believe you. You're definitely giving Beyonce energy for that.
Thank you. I'm their Beyonce, and so for that my little one, she's crazy. But with them, I always, whenever before I go to the studio or whatever the case, let them know, Mommy about to go do whatever. Their love and energy, it just fills me because my biggest thing is being the best me that I can be for them, to set that great example for them. I come from a crazy family, and so my biggest thing is, just making sure that they see Mommy I know daddy gonna, but I want you to see mommy because I'm a woman. That's what you. 9 times
they're gonna emulate themselves behind.
Exactly. So getting that love from them before I go in and do anything outside of the praying, that's where I go.
And that's major because most of the time we doing it for the kids, right? So you getting up every day, you hustling and you grinding, you building your name, you building yourself up, but you doing it so that you can set your kids up, right? And make sure that they have a life that's comfortable. A lot of the times as mom, we want to make sure that our children don't experience what it is that we had to endure growing up. Even if you had one of the best upbringings, right? It still was something that you kind of maybe felt could have been different. Yeah. So when you approach it as a mom, it's like, okay, what can I do to make sure that I set myself up on the right course so that my kids can have the life that I know that I wanted. So I'm glad to know that you utilize your family to charge your battery. To keep you motivated.
For sure.
So, well, with that, this actually leads into my next question, which is perfect. What do you want the young girls, including those little babies that you got that are watching you, especially the young Black girls, to understand about chasing multiple dreams and building their own lane?
To them babies out there. My biggest thing is just understanding, right, that you are you. You are unique. God made you how he made you for a reason. Don't let nobody take that from you. And I mean nobody. Because I feel like when it comes to just Black women, you know, we got it so hard. So we get critiqued about everything. You know what I mean? No matter how good you're doing it, they talk about Beyonce.
Oh, come on.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
And it's just like that girl worked her tail off to get to where she is today.
Right.
And no matter what, somebody's still gonna find
something to say. Haters gonna hate.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we live in a time where a lot of these young ladies are just kind of like depressed. They go through a lot of mental, like just a lot by themselves. And my prayer, I promise you, when I'm praying to God, I'm praying for everybody.
Right.
And so I just hope that I can inspire in some way, shape, or form for them to see that no matter what obstacles come your way, you know, if you keep God first in all that you do, you will overcome it all.
Right.
You will overcome it all. Be you, love you. That self-love is so important. And I just really, I hope and pray that a lot of these young ladies can get that early in life.
For sure.
Because it's going to take you so far. Like, it's going to take you so far. I know grown women is just now, you know,
just now finding themselves. You ain't lying.
You know what I'm saying? Lying. So I just hope that they understand. And my biggest thing with my daughters even is consistency. I'm like, that needs to be taught, like day in and day out, very early, very, very early on. Right. Consistency, because like that
it's
word
key.
should be
People don't get it, but it's truly key.
Because once you understand how important it is to be consistent with something, I think you'll start earlier in life. You won't wait. You know what I mean? Because once you be like, I do this for how many years? Maybe I should start now.
Right.
You know. So I just feel like self-love, love yourself. You know, you are you. God made you how he made you for a reason. Definitely believe in yourself. Have the faith. Like, just know you are her.
For sure.
Regardless to what your circumstances look like, you are her. God. Everything, like, no matter what it is or how bad it looks, it's temporary.
For sure.
It's temporary. If you keep God first. I seen something the other day from this man who had said that he had an encounter with God, and he had asked him about why he gives, you know, people the life that he gives them, basically. And God's response was that he gives everyone the grace. And so all you have to do is seek him. And that was just so real. You know what I mean? It was just so real. And I feel like a lot of people, not that they don't, but a lot of people don't know that.
Okay.
And it's that simple.
Right.
Because life is hard, lives, you know what I'm saying? But if you find him, no matter what your circumstance is, no matter what you've gone through, none of that, not that it doesn't matter, but having him to lead your step, to
guide you. Good. No, for sure.
You're gonna be great.
No, for sure. And that goes back to what you were saying about, you know, being a Black woman, right? Because as being a Black woman, we do have to work harder to get our names into the room. But a lot of the times, and I was telling a friend about that too, about being resilient, right? So being a Black woman, you have to have that resiliency.
Gotcha.
And a lot of the time people can look at it as a negative thing, right? Oh, Black women want to be so strong, so independent.
Right.
But if the two choices that they hand me are either strength or weakness, I'm gonna go with strength over the weakness every single time.
Always.
So for me, I don't see an issue with being strong and being resilient, but definitely making sure that you keep God first and at the forefront. You're gonna always carry through. But along with that, with that strength, because you had the strength to even get to that problem.
Come on now.
If you were so weak, you wouldn't even be able to make it to face the challenges that you facing because you would have been checked out, right? So having that strength and showing up, and like you said, knowing that with God anything is possible, even if it don't look like it, it's gonna come out on the other side and you're gonna be all right. So,
and another thing to me that matters tremendously is only thinking positive thoughts.
Yes.
Like that negative thinking, I see that ruin so many people just because of just thinking so simple as, I mean, I want the job, and I know they're not gonna hire me. Why would you set yourself up for failure like that?
Right.
You know, so positive thinking is key.
It is.
Like, it's speak nothing but positivity over your life day in and day out. All that. Don't do it.
Because what you speak, you become.
Come on now.
Right? What you give life to in your thoughts and you vocalize, you're going to manifest in your life. So why knock yourself out? Let them tell you no, right? You don't think that you're going to make it. Let them tell you that, because nothing beat a failure but a try. That's one of the main mottos that I run with my life. Nothing beats a failure but a try. Because if I don't try, I'm going to fail irregardless. But if I try, you just might make it. You know what I mean? So go for it regardless. So I know you just dropped a new single. It's the Who, Where, When, and How. I bumped it. I love it. Tell us about that single. What was the inspiration behind that?
You know what? I came to the realization that I like storytelling with writing.
I can tell.
Yeah,
I can
I'm
tell.
a storyteller, rapper, I guess you could call it. I don't know why it just comes natural like that too. But when I was playing the song, the track, it was the sound. It was the sound in the background. And I was saying to my husband, I'm like, you hear that? It sounds like I'm just like, it just gave that wake up kind of sound, if that makes sense. I don't know. And I'm listening to it, and I just, whatever comes to mind when I'm writing. And that literally, I got to call at 2 a.m.
Okay. And if y'all haven't heard it, make sure y'all check it out. It is on all streaming platforms. I check mine out on Apple Music because that's when I subscribe to. But you said that you were a storyteller, and I checked out some of your music prior to you coming here, and I could tell it because one of my faves that I checked out was Tasha's story. When I tell you, I'm like, oh, she's really talking about something, because a lot now you get that microwave pop, right? Talk about what's hot, what's in, what's not. No, I'm a real lover of music. You hear what I'm saying? I come from that era where we love music. I want the lyrics. I want to be able to see what you're talking about. Tell me a story. I don't want to hear about Bali, Bugatti. No, I want the story. You get what I'm saying? Take me on a journey. You get what I mean? Songwriting is an art, and I think that's missing right now from the music game.
The scary part, though, when it comes to music, to me, and what we're seeing today versus before, naturally, I feel like everything does repeat itself, but I don't feel like we're quite there yet with the repeating.
Right.
And so when you come in giving that kind of music, like with Tasha's story, for example, I've had those kind of conversations like, but I'm not talking about my booty hole brown. So are they really going to gravitate towards it? Because again, like we were saying earlier, the younger generation are the ones that really, stream and do what they do. But you hear so much. You hear people like, I don't care if you're 40 and 50 and want to get into it, do it, because there's a lane for everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it'd be like, are they going to really take to it? Because look at what that popcorn
what they're consuming,
uses,
right?
You know what I mean?
Does that deter you, or does that give you more fuel?
More fuel. And then I got to pray on it, of course. And I go, God, I don't know, you tell me. And if something that happens, I'm like, okay, that's your answer. I got you.
Right. And you have a balance too, though, right? Because in some of your music, you are talking about how you beautiful and you bad and you bodacious and all of this. So you definitely had a balance. But I think, like you said, stay authentic. Stay true to yourself, and your audience, they're going to gravitate towards you regardless. Because when you really, truly love music, you're going to know where to go to get that good consumable music, right? And when you really think about some of like the music that we have that are the samples, right? These come from real, stumped down, beautiful masterpieces, right? So if that's what births that, stay on that lane, because they're going to be wanting to remake your Tasha story one day. Okay.
Real.
So let's fast forward.
Okay.
5 years from now? What does the Sejoya empire look like? Music, fashion, the movement. Paint a picture for us.
So another thing I just got into, well, I've dibbled and dabbled here and there was acting.
Okay.
So I just did
I heard, but drop it.
I just did a film called The Lick. The other day, actually. So I like all things entertainment.
Okay.
And so I be like, God, I hope that, you know, because my foot is here, my foot is there, and you know, it's all that it's not a problem. Because for the longest, I would really only stick with modeling because of at one point I would hear like, oh, when people are doing too much, people don't take you serious.
Right.
And so I wouldn't even mention music. I wouldn't mention nothing but modeling because of that. Then you started seeing people doing multiple and still being okay. So I'm like,
why box myself in?
Yeah, you know. So, but in 5 years, I need to be for show on the big screen. I really I'm hoping the next year. Okay. The next year, the big screen for sure. I would, of course, love to be, you know, one of the biggest rappers ever that's ever done it.
Yes, you know biggest.
The biggest, you know what I mean? I mean, because anything is possible.
Right.
Anything is take that one hit, you know, you just can go off from there. So for sure, I would love to see my daughters though. Like, I don't really want them in the industry per se, but my little one is so funny. We were talking about her being a comedian.
Okay.
A child comedian.
Right.
And so, and I definitely would love to see that. I would love to see me managing that.
Okay.
Like,
Mama Jer.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That would be, but something. But definitely.
And we're in the era for them to do it.
Exactly. And having those tools, girl, these resources nowadays, because we didn't have it
at all.
So having those resources are very important. But I think in the next 5, my biggest thing is really being at peace with wherever I am.
Nice.
I feel like, and that's kind of my struggle when it comes to the whole music thing. I'm so big on my mental being right and blocking and rebuking anything that's drama filled or negative or anything like that. And there's been situations where I would turn down events because I'm just like,
you don't seem like your speed.
Nope. You know, because I'm so big on my peace. I fought so hard to get to a peaceful place in life mentally. I can't get that to nobody.
Okay.
Like nobody or nothing. So regardless of what, and I'm naturally just a happy person. So regardless of what it is and where I'm at, as long as I'm peaceful, my mental is at peace, my kids, you know, my family, like all of that, I'm gonna be great. Literally.
Nice.
Literally.
Wow. I mean, that's beautiful. Like you said, you just see yourself transitioning, even including incorporating the kids and the whole family. But this is the era to do it. I mean, we see so many family pages and we see so many child comedians and we see these people go from being on social media to being put into the big screen. And so at least if you are there, you want to try to facilitate that in some way for your kids. But at least you'll be able to have your hands in it and make sure that it's done the right way. And that's the main thing, right? So I think that that's huge and that's major. I wish you so much continued success. You definitely got it. The music, the beauty, the brains, the talent, it's all there. It's truly amazing. I thank you so much for being here with us today. It was truly an honor. It was an amazing conversation on and off camera. We definitely had us a good time. So I thank you for being here with us today.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
You're so very welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Listen, Sejoya didn't just pivot careers. She flipped the entire narrative. From runways to recording booths. From designer campaigns to lyrical campaigns. Her journey is a reminder that our identities are layered, limitless, and ever evolving.
Yes.
If you're watching this and you're feeling like you have to choose just one version of yourself, let this be your sign. You don't have to. You're allowed to rebrand, restart, and reignite whenever you want. This has been another powerful episode of Lips and Lace Podcast, where confidence is the dress code and growth is always trending. Until next time, keep shining, keep slaying, and don't forget to show up as your full self each and every day. We'll catch y'all next time. Yeah.